Krakatau Steel is an Indonesian state-owned controlled company engaged in the steel industry. It is Indonesia's largest steel producer and produces various steel products, such as hot and cold rolled coils, as well as wire rods. Recently, Krakatau Steel is applying a restructuring program in a bid to regain profit and improve its financial performance. To get know more what is it actually about, let's see the graphic. So from the first graphic, we can see that Krakatau Steel, first established by Presiden Soekarno, preceding name was Trikora Iron Steel, and next constructed in 1970. Then stated as strategic industry in Indonesia in 1989. Major products such as hot rolled coil, cold rolled coil, and wire rod. Joint venture between Krakatau Steel and POSCO from South Korea in 2010, and then the capacity of the crude steel is 2.45 million tons per year. Krakatau Steel has been known as the prominent steel producer in Indonesia. Infrastructure readiness has made Krakatau Steel as an integrated steel industry, which does not only supplying steel products but also supporting the growth of national industry. Another interesting fact, with proper technical and managerial capabilities, Krakatau Steel has been awarded the ISO 9001 and the ISO 14001 certification. To get know Krakatau even better, let's see the next slide. Still on company profile of Krakatau Steel, which Krakatau Steel listed in industry sector, basic industry and chemicals, subsector in metal and allied products, established since 27 October 1971, listed on 10 November 2010 with listed company code KRAS, and the listed shares in stock exchange is 15 million shares. And if we see the dividend, they, of course, give the dividends or distribute the dividends to its shareholders. And then the major shareholders, more than 5%, is government of Indonesia, which Krakatau Steel is a state-owned company. With its capacity in producing steel products with specific requirements, particularly in supporting national defense infrastructure, the company is known as a strategic industry in Indonesia. Good news is on November 10, 2010, Krakatau Steel listed 20% of its shares on the Indonesia Stock Exchange through an initial public offering. Krakatau Steel had been conducted product diversifications. What are those? Let's see the next slide. And then is a product diversification of Krakatau Steel or KRAS. First is steel production, spiral and ERW pipes, steel bars and steel sections. The second is infrastructure industry, port and industrial estate. The third is EPC services, engineering, procurement and construction. Fourth is utility industry, water and electricity. And the fifth product diversification is hospital, information technology and medical services. Through its 10 subsidiaries, the company has a diversified business empire. Therefore, the company is engaged in other businesses such as real estate and hotel, engineering and construction, port management, information technology services, hospital operation, as well as electricity and water distribution. The company produces products for both the domestic and the international market. How about the financial performance of Krakatau Steel? Let's see the next slide. From the financial report of Krakatau Steel from 2013 until 2018, we see that the operating profit or loss in $1 million, which in 2013, $1.6 million loss, and kemudian loss $20.8 million. And then if we see from the 2016, Krakatau Steel posted operating profit as many as $4.3 million. And then 2017, $50.7 US, and then 2018, $47.4 million US. So it is the financial performance in a few years from Krakatau Steel. Despite financial performance of Krakatau Steel that more to loss than profit, another trouble that company is facing right now regarding financial expenses, the financial expenses by KRAS in 2018 reached $112.33 million. equivalent to 1.57 trillion rupiah. This was more than double its number from 8 years ago in 2011, which was only 40.62 million US dollar. The increase in financial expenses is, of course, inseparable from the company's debt, since most of the company's financial expenses are interest expenses. So how about the debt of the company? Let's see the next slide. So this is the debt of Krakatau Steel. If we see from the short-term debt, Krakatau Steel posted 1.59 billion US dollar. Then if we see the long-term debt is at 899.43 million US dollars. So if we combine the short-term and the long-term debt, the total debt of Krakatau Steel is 2.49 billion US dollar, and the source is from Krakatau Steel annual report. However, in the midst of mounting debt, Indonesian state-owned steel producer plans to increase capital through a right issue mechanism in this fourth quarter of 2019. The funds used for debt refinancing and business restructuring. The company CEO Silmi Karim explained at this time his party in a process to get permit from the parliament on the preemptive rights in the amount of 10% of the company issued and paid up capital. To know about restructuring program of Krakatau Steel, let's see the next slide. So it's still from information about restructuring program of Krakatau Steel. First is debt restructuring, which also we already informed in the previous slide, and then organization restructuring, and then is business restructuring. So the restructuring consists of debt, organization, and also business restructuring. The fundamental changes to rescue the company involve optimizing its subsidiaries through a comprehensive restructuring program that encompasses organizational, human resource, and debt restructuring. The company's restructuring steps to save its business cover selling non-core assets, streamlining organizational structure, seeking strategic business partners, conducting spin-off, and transforming cost center working units into profit center ones. Silmi Karim, as the CEO, is optimistic that the restructuring program will help make Krakatau Steel more aggressive in developing its business and market in the future. That is for today's graphic presentation. Stay tuned on Market Headlines. We'll be right back after the break.